Hey guys, it's the MindBENDER here. I would just like to start off by saying I am no guru. I don't think I'm particularly wise or smart or whatever you would want to say, but I think I have life experiences that are good to be shared. And if you disagree with some of my opinions, then you can leave a comment and we can talk about it. But don't take anything I say as fact, and this is just kind of spitballing ideas as to the purpose of life and the meaning of life and many other topics that we will cover on this channel. But the first one is what I just mentioned, the purpose of life. Many of you are probably thinking that you have seen so much content. I mean, if you're here, if you clicked on this video, then you have probably seen at least a dozen videos talking about purpose of life. And I have nothing particularly groundbreaking to say about it, but I would just like to share my opinions on it, and I think it differs pretty significantly from the norm. So, what is purpose? Purpose, the best definition I've heard on purpose is that it is finding the highest obtainable goal and orienting yourself towards it. So what does that mean? Well, purpose is something that you come across when you aren't looking for it. Purpose is not a God-given thing. Purpose is something that has to be earned through hard work and orienting yourself towards something that is the highest possible thing that you can conceive that is good, objectively good. Now, this is not money. Money is great, but money is not everything. This is not status. This is not power. This is not anything. This is a quantifiable and objectionable thing that is good. This is helping people. This is using your talents for good of others. This is objectionable, unobjectionable. This is something that cannot be taken away from you once you have it. So how do you have it? How do you get it? Well, that's the thing. As I said earlier, purpose is not God-given. Purpose is something to be earned and something that is built by your own hands. You don't just have a purpose being born. And if you think that, then you're not correct, because who are you to have a purpose in life from the day that you were born? Because purpose is a meaning to life. That does not mean if you do not have a purpose that your life is not worth living, but meaning is something that everyone is chasing and you have acquired. So how do we acquire it? Well, the first step, I think, is looking inwardly to find what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. And what you are bad at, work on it. That's the first step. Whatever you're bad at that you think is hindering your life, work on it. For example, I think I'm bad at talking and articulating, hence this channel's existence. So that is a start for you and for everyone who has a desire to find purpose in their life. Many people would tell you to find what you're good at and do that. And I don't think that's good advice, because everyone knows, even if not outrightly, they know inwardly what they are good at, and they know that that's not enough. I mean, just think about it. You're already good at it. Why would anything change from you doing it more? It just makes no sense. So the purpose in your life starts there. Start doing things that you don't want to do. Start talking if you're anxious. Start trying to focus if you are lazy. Start trying to do things that make you uncomfortable. Because purpose in and of itself is not comfortable. Having a purpose in life is you telling yourself that, hey, you have something outside of yourself that you are orienting your whole life towards. And that could be something that's not comfortable. If you look at missionaries in these foreign countries, you see that they're not comfortable. They're living in dirt shacks without AC, without warm clothes, without anything that we take for granted here in the West. And I think that purpose that they have into whatever religion that they are serving under, whatever God they're serving under, is the proof that purpose isn't comfortable. Because comfort, by definition, is what you want. It's something that is inside the box. It is something that you are familiar with. But if you're on this video, then you already know what you're familiar with, but you still haven't found your purpose. So stop thinking of purpose as comfortable. Stop thinking of purpose as something even you should want, because purpose comes with duty, and duty comes with challenges. And some people don't want challenges yet. And that's not to say that they won't ever want challenges or they shouldn't want challenges, but if you aren't willing to sacrifice everything for the purpose, then stop seeking after a purpose. And that realization is probably one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me. And I I know that the purpose for my life will not be easy. And I know the purpose for my life using my talents will not start in a good way. And I know it's going to be challenging. But I'm okay with that. And so the second point, I should say, for finding purpose is to understand the desire for purpose. Why do people want purpose? Why are people so unhappy without purpose? And that is a question that I personally cannot answer. And I don't think anybody can answer it, because I think the people who really want purpose should not willingly want purpose. And I know that's kind of confusing, but hear me out. I've just discussed that purpose isn't comfortable, but most people in life want comfort. They want the nice house, they want the nice cars, they want the nice everything because of their purpose. And those two, it's a dichotomy, because you can't have what you want and still do what you're called to do. You can have some things of what you want, but if your purpose is to go teach kids in Africa, then you cannot have a nice house in the suburbs. It's just not possible. And you may be like, well, that's not my purpose, and I don't think I'll ever want to do that. I think I should stay here and find my purpose here. And you would be correct. But purpose is a willingness to orient your entire mind towards something that you have never thought of. And I know that's weird. How do you orient your mind towards something you've never thought of, right? Because, and the definition of that, squirrel brainy right now, but purpose is orienting your mind towards something you never thought of, or orienting your mind towards the highest obtainable good. And how I evolve those two is that, or deduce those two as being the same, is because if you've thought of it and have oriented your mind towards it, then you would by definition have purpose. So you would have to orient your mind. So the purpose is different from anything you've ever thought of before. But how do you find that? If you haven't thought about it, how do you find it? And I think point number 3, I guess, is that purpose lies in between 3 main things: your mind, your heart, and divinity, or the existence of God. Now, I don't really care what your religious beliefs are, but it is nearly undeniable, or the fact that it is undeniable in the fact that science hasn't proved it wrong, that God can and does exist. So even if you don't agree with religious teachings, the choices that you make in life is still a reflection of divinity in some way or another. So, purpose is found at the root of God, divinity, and how you orient yourself towards that, and your heart, which is your belief in something. So, you're feeling towards something, I should say. So this is what you feel the most passionate about. And your head, that aspect of it, is coming from your hard skills. So as we talked about earlier, what you're good at is not necessarily going to be a part of your purpose, but is actually what you are bad at and need to get good at, is the first step of learning purpose. So that's where it comes from. So the head is these skills that you're starting to develop, and then the heart is what you're passionate about. So if you are passionate about electronics or art or plants or whatever, if you're passionate about something in life, you've narrowed your field of purpose down so much that your mind is nearly there. So now you have to bring in the third aspect. You have to bring in divinity or God, or however you want to put it. But this is why a lot of you probably haven't found purpose yet. And because you are not willing to sacrifice everything towards some highest obtainable good. And by saying that, I don't mean you have to sacrifice everything, or that to fulfill purpose you have to sacrifice everything, but you have to be willing to. So everything that you have right now, if it were to be lost today, you would still have that purpose. And that is where the existence of some creator is really revealed, because you have a certain divine inspiration. And to achieve this is to have a connection with divinity of some sort or another, and whether that's God or Allah or whatever, I don't know what the Buddhists believe, but whatever is what you believe to be divinity is what is in between you and purpose. So, understanding this, we come to the final point. And a little recap first. Purpose is orienting yourself towards the highest attainable good and chasing after it. 2, you have to be willing to give up everything. You have to be willing to give up everything for your purpose. And 3, you have to access a connection with things that are not of this world. And that is why you see some people who are not religious accessing purpose, because sometimes they don't realize that they're still accessing something that is not of this world, but they are not accessing the right thing. And the difference between the two could be talked about in another video, but I think I have thoroughly confused all of you right now. So that being said, this is just a video of me spitballing ideas, and if it's not cohesive or coherent, I don't really care, because I'm just talking and I have no points. I have no bullet points that I'm looking over. I have no quotes that I'm looking at. And I have no script. So I would just like to stop the video there and just say thank you for listening this far, and comment below what are your thoughts on my thoughts, and we can have a discussion about it. And I probably said some things that are probably not true, and that's okay. But thank you for watching, and thank you for joining, and please subscribe. Please subscribe. Thanks.